This week on the Creators Corner.
I mean, how important is proof?
And they were telling that he wasn't my real son because my real son was giving them all the information they had on me.
I've had the same voice since I was 13, so what the fuck are you trying to say?
Hey guys, welcome back to the Creators Corner. We're on episode 2. I'm here with... What is your name now, Corey?
TCC Keithley?
Corey, is it Corey Kaizen still?
No, hell no, I ain't with them Kaizen clowns. This is Peyton Corey Keithley.
I'm here with TSB Terracote and Peyton Corey Keithley from Kentucky.
I guess it just really is me, myself, and all my millions.
Oh my God. All your millions of chihuahuas.
All right, guys. So I wasn't here
On
last
GD.
week because I heard that y'all were
Okay.
getting pretty messy, and I try to avoid those. And y'all said that it wouldn't be too messy this episode, but I'm just trying to find out what's been going on. So what's been going on with you guys lately? Anything popping off?
She's a damn sucker if she thought it wasn't going to get messy today.
I make a mess everywhere I go. I'll be dropping shit.
Word.
Shit. I'll be spilling. Small spills, big spills, medium-sized spills.
I don't
Just
know,
a
anything
mess.
popping off on Twitter? Anybody noticed anything?
There's a lot of upset people from what I've seen, but I don't exactly know what's going on.
I mean, you know how the internet is, Corey. Once somebody says it, it's real. Like I suddenly, after all these years, I'm a pedophile and you're a scammer, even though there's not any proof of any of that. But when people say it, it just becomes real.
Hey,
I mean,
look,
how
when you're
important
doing-
is proof?
Not at all. 9 times out of 10, you don't need proof. Just to put it on Twitter, and it's true. That's all you gotta do.
Corey, tell people the percentage of the time that you're an honest businessman.
89% of the time, you're going to get good, clean business out of me. The other 11%, then you just going to have to look over it or just assume that you're an omega. But 89%, you can rest assured and sleep well that we're doing good business.
Yeah.
I thought when I first told you that, I really thought that was a good percentage. Like, I was like, what? 89% of the time, I'm doing good business. And then you had to inform me that that's still not good. But I'm telling you, from where I'm from, in these hills, 89% is a really good grade, and that's a good solid A+ in Kentucky.
No, we shoot for 100, Corey.
How you gonna make money?
Yeah. I won't ever forget one time during the MEA TSB war, MEA got in a party with my son, and they were telling that he wasn't my real son because my real son was giving them all the information they had on me. He's like, but I'm really his son. They were like, no, you're not. We're not falling for this. You're not going to tell us that you're really his son.
That was secretly me. I was feeding them the information.
I wouldn't doubt it, you little bastard.
You hit me. Never mind. I ain't gonna bring it up. I ain't gonna mention it. But all I'm trying to say is never try and sell this man a t-shirt plan. He gets oddly aggressive for zero reason.
Well, a damn squeaker comes in a party with me and J2H for life and tries to sell us a business plan how we can make millions of dollars selling t-shirts online. Yes, you left the party, Corey.
I've had the same voice since I was 13, so what the fuck are you trying to say?
You may have thought you had the same voice, but you did not. Go listen to some of your old videos.
Okay.
Yo, what's up guys? This is XG and Helix 7 showing you guys the new Halo Reach theme. It's about 240 Microsoft points, not a bad deal. Hi, what's up guys? This is XG and Helix 7 coming out to you guys. You may have watched the last video of me unboxing the controller. Now I'm going to show you what it came with, the card I showed you.
I sound like a striving young man just trying to make it out here in this industry.
I didn't want to fall into that 11% of people you were talking about.
At that point, it might have been less. It might have been 20. It might have been 20. Shit, I don't know. This is self-growth, baby. I had to work for this 89%.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You know why those Omega kids hate me, Corey?
Because you're good looking.
Well, that too.
Yep.
But, I mean, I have a pretty damn good job, make pretty damn decent money. I built one of the most successful clans in the history of Xbox. I'm a parent. I'm a grandparent. I got a girlfriend. I travel. I do whatever fuck I want whenever I fucking want to. And I still made time to build TSB. And these kids are like, get alive. I have a fucking
You know why
life.
they hate me?
Why? Then
I built a
11%.
successful clan. Next question.
Basically, what I've gathered is that a couple of years ago, whenever you guys decided to come together and start working together and getting rid of kind of the bad seeds of the scene and building something, the people who pushed back against that and still were doing terrible things have decided now that they don't want to do that anymore. They see the success that you guys are having and what you guys are building, and now they want to be a part of what y'all have going for you. So they're apologizing and thinking that that is enough. Why isn't that enough?
Because some things a fucking apology doesn't cover. If you go murder someone, do you go to prison or do you just get to apologize and say, I am my bad?
There's certain things that you can do in the scene that just make you ineligible for operation, ineligible to take part, and I think the mature thing for a lot of people to do would be to just accept that and kind of move forward. I think we discussed that in the last episode. For the most part, I mean, it's almost like the people that do apologize are almost apologizing with the intent of just returning to business as normal. And like how we've covered time and time again, these aren't these people's first chance. It ain't their first rodeo. It ain't their first, there was a time not too long ago in the scene where, like you mentioned, everyone kind of come together, everyone kind of agreed this is a clean slate. And these are people that continuously did stuff even after that slate clean, right? And I just, you can't just apologize and have the expectation that you're going to be forgiven and then expect it just to be normal as usual.
Conversation I had in the firewall server this morning. There's a girl that was in XDG up until maybe 3 weeks ago, and she got mad at Helios, posted his old IP from when he lived in Oklahoma, told him she's going to hit him offline, posted IPs of a bunch of the leaders, said she's going to hit him offline. They removed her. She's joined multiple clans since then. She joined a community and came in Clan Hub. And she's a streamer and she wanted her own apparel store. And of course, Helios, said no. And that person tried to get into a community that's in the firewall server. And they posted in there this morning, her gamer tags. And, hey, this person wants to come in. And everybody's like, no. That person, this girl told them that she wanted a fresh start. She was a different person. And I'm like, this is only 3 weeks ago. You were posting IPs and doing all this shit. I mean, I'm not saying that's a lifetime ban, but come on now. 3 weeks and you're a brand new person?
Oh, well, just to fill you in, that same person I know who you're talking about, not even a week ago when she was trying to get the merch store after she figured out that she couldn't get one for free, exploded again on Helios. So, like, it's even more frequent than 3 weeks ago. It's like, it's days ago,
And what I said in the firewall server was these people don't realize what doors they've closed for themselves by acting that way until it's too late, and then we're the bad guys because they closed those doors.
I mean, one of my biggest things, even in recruiting and everything that I've always said was that clans aren't for everyone, right? Yep. And I put out a statement on Twitter, pretty much saying I was tired of seeing drama and et cetera. And one of the things, I said was just that, that some things you just can't take back, right? And just the fact that they want to call us the bad people just because we choose not to associate with that kind of behavior, endorse that kind of behavior, or continue to introduce innocent players to that type of behavior is just mind-blowing to me. And one of the things I put in there was, maybe this isn't good for you either, right? Because that's something they need to ask themselves. Is this really good for me? If I'm constantly the problem, I'm constantly going through this turmoil, constantly feeling these emotions, is this good for me? And that's something that I ask all megas to really ask themselves.
Oh yeah, I mean, if you're keeping up with the Twitter drama, you see all these people from RNG saying that we won't leave them alone. We're doing all these things. What you don't know behind the scenes that in the last 6 weeks, those people contacted Helios and Zay's jobs, sent them a bunch of screenshots from Twitter and Discord. They've contacted multiple people's jobs trying to get them fired. And they're on Twitter making it seem like they're the victims when you don't know what they're doing behind the scenes. And what they don't understand is that every time you call our jobs and we haven't done anything to get fired, you just give us another get out of jail free card, because you can only call so many times before they start really discrediting your word. And like the story they told Zay and Helios's job is just mind blowing. That they said they worked for the same company as those guys, and those guys had used the company employee directory to look them up and were harassing them in real life and all of these things.
Yeah, and they're the ones that are harassing, doing exactly what they're doing.
Yeah.
And it's stuff like that, from a clan scene to take it, to those extremes and then wonder why, we're not just open-handedly just inviting you back in to do it again, right?
Yeah.
That's not something that we can do. And, to kind of touch base back on the topic, all seriousness, the 89%, whatever, I have a lot of people like Maniac and this Mr. K, 7S, who I don't even have a problem with Mr. K, personally. Him as an individual, never had an issue with until obviously now. But in FRA, Snake Eyes, these are people that, I had actively done business with and sold them brands and sold them clans, like logos and websites and a lot of stuff. And now after, they kind of get caught on the rug and caught doing stuff in the Clan Hub server and banned, now they want to back up. And all this business we've been doing for the last 2 years, I'm the corrupt one. I'm scamming them. They feel wronged. And I'm like, I supplied you with a service. I supplied you with a product and you purchased it.
Yeah. I mean, Maniac sent you the screens of all of y'all's cash out transactions and everything on there. Purchase of KOG, purchase of whatever. He has everything that he bought from you.
I make them put that in the notes. Every time people do business with me, if you don't put a note on it, I'll send it back. You have to notate why you're sending me money because of this reason right here. Yeah. Right. And essentially, I just find it funny. I just find it kind of disappointing that, realistically, the biggest crime that I committed was not telling Maniac 5 clans ago that this wasn't for him. Because no matter how many clans he buys off me, he's clearly not going to go anywhere in his scene. He talks like he's this big dog, like he's done all this work. From the point that I've met him, he ain't done shit. Just being honest. He ain't done shit but buy pre-built clans from me and then kill them. That hurts my feelings.
If you buy my house from me and then you just let the house go to shit, don't mow the yard, don't take care of it, don't do anything, you can't say I'm a scammer and you want your money back.
And even then, like, Corey was giving him access to all the things that he still owns and still has to offer. It's when he broke the rules that he took away that access. So not only that, he not only just sold the house, he was still showing up and helping and giving him his resources to help him. At that point, when does personal responsibility come into play? And you realize that, hey, maybe I'm the reason for this. But also, this is the same guy who is putting out a lot of tweets saying he's going to shoot people up. So I just want it to be on record that I think he's a great guy, and I don't have anything bad to say about him.
Cut this shit off. I'm joking. Yo, look, hey, that's smart. I was about to come in and do that same thing, but with all that shit I just talked, don't come to my house. I'm just joking. Nah. That is ridiculous. Coming from someone that used to tweet about shooting people up, I think that's absolutely ridiculous.
He said he's going to come see me while he's in Texas.
I'm so glad you stepped up there and took that bullet for me.
Yeah. Well, I told him to step up on the curb so I could see him because I've known him for a long time, and whatever that big deep voice and all that bravado he goes on with on Twitter, he's 5'2". So what you gonna do? Fight Pinky?
She's built for tough. He could.
I'll let my Schwab take him.
Yeah, I mean, I see those. I've seen one of those orangey guys. They talk so much shit to Pinky just because she's with me.
Yeah.
And they say such mean things about her just because she's with me. And that one guy's like, I eat porterhouse steaks. We're not the same. Like, oh my God, a porterhouse? You bought the only one that they've produced in the history of man? Really? Oh shit. You're balling, bro.
I saw that shit. It's like, I eat porterhouse steaks daily. He's like, I'm like, damn, dude, you made it.
Yeah, that was the cringiest. And then somebody said, oh, that sounds good. And he was like, oh, well, you need to get your own. I don't share my steak. And I got like actual, like the actual ick.
Guaranteed, Pinky makes more at her job than this man does talking shit to her. But because we don't broadcast our business like that, they talk shit.
I tweeted that I made $1 million from gaming, and these motherfuckers like, that's it. I'm like they've made fucking 1 red cent from any of this. Like they're like, that's it. I'm like, what? You've done it for fucking free. How you gonna talk shit to me?
That guy's body shaming Pinky, and like you go look at his pictures, like I see why you body shame her, bro. You obviously have low self-esteem.
In general, it's a whole lot of low self-esteem. Just in general from everything. I mean, the fact is that we get the hate that they should be giving themselves.
Yeah.
Like we've built brands, we've built things, we've done stuff that any one of them could do. Well, I'm starting to wonder if they can. I mean, honestly, I don't know. Like, we might be involved in some damn magical shit, but from the outside looking in, you would think that they had the same tools, the same ability, the same opportunity.
Can y'all see that? That's fate. The golf on balls or whatever it is. Yeah, that's just in the last week, him blowing me up on Xbox, party invites, messages, but they're not bothering me. They don't know why I'm saying stuff about them.
They've had the same opportunity, is what I'm getting at. They've had the same exact opportunity to do something and just have chosen not to. And to sit there and hate on people that have done it and have this expectation of like needing respect and like them like wanting it so badly when they've done nothing to earn it.
Well, now listen, they did post nudes of a 17-year-old girl on Twitter. So why doesn't that get them respect?
Well, they didn't.
I have no idea.
So.
Yeah, they apologized.
So they did apologize. So.
Oh yeah. They apologized. Yeah, because that somehow makes posting nudes of a minor okay, and that goes for anybody that's over there in that network that's affiliated with them. You're affiliated with people that posted nudes of a 17-year-old girl. Keep that in mind. That's why you'll never have a spot anywhere because you condone that shit by hanging out with them, and I use that word correctly, not like the statement they put out.
They put out a whole statement so they condone all those actions instead of condemn. They just left it too. They're like, fuck it. That's good
they know
enough.
what we're talking about. They get the idea.
They get it. We tried.
Fate's dumbass must have wrote that statement up for them.
Oh my god. So I think another important thing, and we kind of touched on it already, but is the timeline. Because you see a lot of things happening on Twitter now being posted from the other side saying, oh, y'all need to address this, you need to address this, which, I mean, I've been sitting on this podcast with you guys for like years now, and I've heard y'all address multiple things over and over. But the main thing is that at some point, the clan scene was extremely toxic, right? It was literally like a war zone. And y'all came together and realized that it could not succeed like that. And even then, the things that we're talking about are not things that y'all ever did. Y'all never swatted anybody. Y'all never posted revenge porn. Y'all never posted photos of minors, definitely. But y'all decided that just like the toxic environment that was the cleansing needed to come to an end. And these people not only kept doing that, but since that happened, we've been swatted multiple times. I've seen multiple people's nudes being posted online again without their consent. And these are the same people now who are online and upset because they feel like they deserve a seat at the table or to be able to have access to the resources that you guys have built in that time.
Yeah, I mean, it's not our fault that they were short-sighted and we were thinking years in advance. That's why we're successful and they're not. It's that Section 8 mentality, bro. You know, Section 8 approves you 6 months at a time. Those kids that only think with the Section 8 mentality they're never successful. Because all you got to do is think 7 months out. You've already beat them.
They've put all of their time and effort into negativity and things that get you nowhere. And we put all of our efforts into, you know, squashing beefs that are squashable, right? And working and making connections with brands that are workable with, right? And we've sunk countless hours, money, resources into building technology that will put us at the forefront. And this is stuff that we said we were doing years ago, right? This is stuff that we said was happening. This happened right in front of them, right? It's not like it's some top secret project. Like, we are literally building a scene. And if you can't get into it, I would be mad too. So I understand in that regard. But
I
the only
mean,
people to blame is themselves.
I'll say this. I mean, there's a man right now that they're saying you scammed out of money, that he's an owner, that you showed screenshots. You've literally been hitting that man up daily. Hey, bro,
Yeah.
need you to be involved, need you to come around. And he's over there sitting with his friends saying, Corey scammed me out of money. I ain't heard from him. When the reality is, you're hitting this fucking man up daily and have been for months.
It's less about the money and the percents at play for me and more about having strong-minded people that can help me, right? Because I realize that this is so much bigger than just me or just us, that what we're building is really the opportunity for thousands, right? And that's where with me, like, heck, I would love for him to be an owner and to take part and to like do something, help out, put your hands to work and let's build something for the masses, right? Because projects like what Clan Hub is and in the future Clan Coliseum and Thunderdome and all these things, projects like that is the opportunity for all of our members. That's how we can provide them a better experience than what we have previously. And if you're not trying to improve and trying to bring a better opportunity to the masses, then you are in this for the wrong reasons. And I don't see anything that they're doing over there as trying to improve their experience.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Absolutely
Like
not.
that one kid posted that tweet the other day that listed all those clans. Then it said, Hydra Nexus, we outnumber you. Had you put population 39? Like, that's,
Yeah.
if we take all the clans that we're talking about, I have a division, one single division bigger than all of those clans' population together. TSB is a huge clan. It's a huge clan. And these kids are butthurt as fuck because they can't be around the shit that we've done. But they don't want to take responsibility, and their actions are what excluded them. Not me. I'm not being a dickhead. I mean, you got a guy in the clan right now that his girlfriend, or ex-girlfriend, on the timeline admits that he hit her. We know they were in the Hydra when it happened. Like, he put hands on her. We had to send the cops over to do a welfare check. And he deserves a second chance. Well, I mean, that's not my call to say. I don't want that kind of shit around me.
And that's realistically is so much anger because we're choosing not to build. I mean, excuse me that I'm not wanting to put thousands and thousands and tens of thousands of dollars worth of funding and support and even more man hours into building things for people like that.
It's what we said the whole time. We banned 32 people from the Clan Hub server.
That's all I was gonna say.
And in a server that has at this point 3,500 people, so 1%. 1% of the motherfuckers in clans are what we're talking about that can ruin it for everyone. We've said that all along. Literally, it's 1% of the people out there that try to get in community. Why don't they just go away? Because they like to cause strife and cause issues.
And that's what I wanted to address as well. So you guys banned 1% of people from the server. And these are the people who believe that they deserve a second chance because they've changed and they've grown. Yet, if you look at how they're acting publicly right now, what has changed? They may not be posting revenge porn, but they're still stuck on that negativity train and that jealousy. And I don't use that word lightly, but it is what it is. You know, they're looking at what you guys have, and instead of building their own communities and putting the work in there and focusing on what they can do, they're focusing on what y'all have.
I mean, FRA, we banned them because they were using Clan Hub to find little clans to hit. And they were threatening those clans with TSB and Hydra. I mean, we had the screenshots. I went and talked to them. Said, hey, man, like, you're threatening this clan with us. No, that's not what it was. He was afraid you guys were going to come after him. I said, I mean, what do you mean? We don't know why he was afraid you guys were going. I'm like, the screenshot, you're threatening with him with us. That's why he was afraid we were going to come after him. They made his clan change the name of their clan and join the Banshee network. That's how most of those clans wound up over there. They keep bragging about, we've got all these clans over here. They're hitting small clans using the threat of us and forcing them to join. That's not what we're trying to do.
Well, you know, I was friends with them, FRA and them people, and like at a certain point, I was just like, I don't want to continue to empower this. Yeah. Right? And that's pretty much what it was. I feel like, you know, they were using relationships with me that I had with you to almost, I don't even know, right? To use that to their benefit in a negative way. And like that, those screenshots were so like old school clan scene, some shit you would see from like forever ago. It's just like, why are you doing this? You know? And on another note, you know, I tweeted, I don't brag enough, right? I feel like we could do a whole episode if we wanted to, listing all the positive things we've done for gaming in the clan scene. A whole ass episode. And I don't think that they could bring together 3 bullet points of 3 positive things they've done for the clan scene or gaming. Right?
Yeah.
Like, at a certain point, we're not at the top of the game by chance. You know, we're not here, you know, by chance. We've worked. We've put in time. We've put in effort. We have built environments for players. And to a certain extent, it's our responsibility to at least not endorse those kind of people.
Yep.
And I just didn't want to be a part of it no more. I didn't want to be a part of what they were trying to do. You know, I would love for FRA and these clans to be sitting at the table and operating, you know, well and doing things the right way. And, you know, that's more people for the clan scene. But it's not worth allowing them to use our brands and our names to cause mayhem and madness and try and attack other innocent clans and players.
You know, Helios and I were talking the other day, and he said something that was pretty profound. He said, you know, 5 years ago, Hydra was considered Omegas. And I never thought about it that way, but that's true. We were considered the outcast. And we haven't, the way that we operate as a clan hasn't changed. You know, a lot of the things that we're doing now, we've always done as far as the way we run our internal clan. But it's the outside perception of us, you know, that has changed. Because people, it goes back to when you hear shit, you know, online, that's the truth. You know, I've never swatted anybody. Hydra's never swatted people. Why would I get somebody killed over video games? Fucking stupid. But I see people on Twitter this week alone talking about how many people I've swatted. I'm like, what?
And not that and again, like obviously there's bias here, but I remember when TSB was created, and I remember the first time we got swatted way back in the day, like the first time, years and years ago. I remember you, and I still didn't really understand the whole community scene or anything that was going on. And I remember asking you like what that meant, and you telling me that like that's not something that like we mess with or that we do at all, because you could literally get somebody killed. You're like, it's a gaming, it's gaming at the end of the day. Like that's not something. And I remember that conversation. So it's very like upsetting to see somebody accusing you of that when I remember a conversation 10 years ago, of you telling me that.
Yeah. I mean, the problem is that nobody calls these people on this bullshit except for us. And that's a problem because we got so many fucking placeholder communities around us. And people should take a fucking stand against right and wrong. And if you feel like I've done something wrong, let's have a conversation about it. You and I know, by the way, good call on Ryuk. I mean, you called what a piece of shit he was a year ago, But in the interaction that set off the whole KN leaving XS thing, you and I had a conversation about that. And I had your back, but we talked about things you could have done differently. You could have handled yourself. You lost your fucking temper. You acted a damn fool, which
Lost
has been
my
known
damn
to happen,
mind.
which has been known to happen a time or two. Shout out to all those unedited episodes of the podcast because of your temper. But on GD. But
Man.
yeah, you called out. You said that guy's going to be a problem, and I'll be damned. He has turned you into the hero of the story because now everybody recognizes what a piece of shit he is.
I'm watching that man have an emotional breakdown in my mentions every single day. At least a 3 to 4 tweet reply anytime anybody says anything to him. Every day I log in, I got 20 plus notifications. But he's so upset that people don't respect him and that people don't see him as a good guy or easy to work with. Which, I mean, to be fair, you said that from the start.
Yeah. I mean, honest to God, like one thing is like I'm far from perfect, right? Like I am who I am, and I'm like a leader that constantly does try to grow and tries to evolve. And like when I'm wrong, like, or I feel like I've done someone wrong, it might take a little bit, but I'm going to come at it publicly. I'm going to make sure it's known. Like I want the world to know. I don't have time to enter all these secret little chat rooms where my name is being mentioned and what they're saying about me. But if I'm wrong, I'm going to tweet about it and I'm going to try and get it out there as far as I can because I want people to know that the version of me that they recall isn't who I am now, right? And I feel like that's what people want in a leader is someone that's always trying to better themselves for their people, right?
That's one of my favorite things to tell people is, people will follow a flawed leader as long as you acknowledge your flaws and mistakes and you try to do better,
You better paraphrase that now. Megas, don't get excited. I ain't done the shit you've done.
Yeah.
No, if I did that shit, I'd just quit. But to a certain extent, I do, I do appreciate, the support that I've had, since we did, kind of all come together and just being able to have that accountability between one another. That's the number one thing in my mind that Omegas are missing out on is that accountability, that networking, that ability that, hey, I have peers that are going to pull me to the side if I'm going in the wrong direction. I have peers that's going to advise me. Like the most powerful tool I have is the ability to pick up my phone and call people like you, call people like Ben, call even Landry here. What's up, Landry? I'm joking. But essentially, and be like, hey, this is what's on my mind. These are the mistakes I've made. How can I do better? And that's a powerful tool.
Absolutely. The minute that you lose the ability to call your friends and say, hey, man, I'm in this situation. I think things are going not the way I want them to. Do you have any suggestions? When you lose that ability, you're lost. Or if you don't have people in your circle that you can call and get that honest answer from when you need it, you're lost.
Yeah. And, realistically, they're so hell-bent on building a movement to counter our movement that's not what it's about. It's not just about having a movement. It's not just about having that. It's about moving in the direction of positivity, moving the direction of opportunity. And what they've done and the people that they're harboring over there are people that will hinder them in every step of the way.
Yeah.
Like what big sponsor, what company wants to support that? What member truly wants to be a part of that, knowing what their leaders and members have done and been a part of, and just kind of sat on the sidelines and let happen. And, I'm just happy where we are as a scene. I'm happy we're moving as a scene. To go back to a topic we discussed a few moments ago, and what has been done that deserves him to lose his job? What have these people done? Well, what is anything that could transpire on Twitter or transpire here that would make someone make them eligible to lose their way of living, or to get swatted and get killed? Like, all these people do is continually prove to the world, prove to the scene that we're exactly right by condemning them, not condoning them.
The funny thing is, most of these people are talking all this shit from their third and fourth Twitter accounts because they've been banned from Twitter so many times. It's not just us saying you're not fit to be in this circle. You can't even maintain your account on a social media site because of the way you act. So keep that in mind, placeholders, when you're looking at what's happening on Twitter and you're like, oh, those Hydra guys are always talking shit. The people we're talking shit to are on their fourth, fifth, sixth fucking Twitter account. It's not just us saying these are bad people. Twitter has banned these some bitches multiple times, and they're going to ban the accounts they're talking shit on now.
Yeah. I know the good I've done. I know the good you've done. These people they need to ask themselves, what good have you done? Right? Even, the communities that are, just kind of standing around, letting it happen. This is the good that you can do, right?
Yeah.
This is the good that you can do. Like, we need people to, if you don't stand by this behavior, and if you don't condone that behavior, say so.
Yeah. I mean, look at the interactions these guys get. They need us. They'll post some shit, get 2 likes, and it's the other 2 guys on their fourth fucking Twitter account. When they interact with us, they get all these fucking interactions, boost their shit. You know what I mean? Like, go look. And for the first time, I've never had a lot of people blocked. I've blocked almost everybody in RNG. I've blocked a bunch of community members that are in Omega clans because I'm not going to let them get clout and get mentions off of my fucking name. And
once you realize that without your attention, they have nothing, and they're on Twitter bragging that, oh, we have them blocked, but they've got 17 views on that tweet, So when you realize that the all the power they have is your attention, it's just like, maybe I'm good on that. But I do want to double back. I know we were talking about friends and holding each other accountable and things like that. I read a quote the other day, and I was just wondering, with all of this Twitter drama going on and all these other clans that are kind of staying silent, what you guys think. And the quote says, "We may not remember the words of our enemies, but we'll remember the silence of our friends." How do you guys feel about that?
Yeah, listen, placeholders are what got us to the state that we were in. People not standing up, fuck the consequences, and calling right and wrong. And if you're afraid to call right and wrong, that tells you you're fucking with the wrong people. If you can't come and have an honest conversation, you and I have disagreed how many times behind the scenes. We don't yell or cuss each other out. We don't stop being friends. We just disagree on things.
Yeah, that's okay to disagree, and it's okay to, not see things exactly the same way, and just, still be friends, and everything still be all right. What really gets me is the same clans that aren't speaking out against this now there's going to be a time, in the future, they're going to be needing us. They're going to need us to kind of take it to that next level, because what we're doing right now is going to change the game. Like, what we're building is going to make it easier than ever for clans to connect, members to grow, participate in events, tournaments. And, I really want people to focus in on what we're doing with Clan Hub, specifically. Because, that server, us having all these clans together, and, there's over 450 clans on Clan Hub right now. We haven't even touched the surface at networking with them or kind of trying to grow with them, or really even all the possibilities when we're together. None of us are better than all of us. That's something I've said numerous times. And, the number one thing that I can say is, man, I would hate to be a fucking Omega, because you're getting left out of a lot of powerful shit. And, it must suck to be in a scene, quote unquote, because you ask them, they're going to say they're still part of the scene, and not be able to have any success in the genre that you claim to love so much. Because all they've done, people like Ryuk, people, even like the people in Seven Sins, Maniac, all they've done, and some of the really good people in Kaizen is make it to where they are ineligible for any true success in this genre.
Yeah.
And that is a sad reality. And, for an extent, I feel for it. You know what I mean? That must suck.
I mean, go make your network, go be successful. But to do that, you need to take a hard look at some of the people you have involved. You should distance yourself from those people, because you're not ever going to get to where we are financially. You have there's a lot of money to get where we are. You're not going to get there with those people around you. No one wants to invest in that shit. No one wants to be involved in it. And I've never ever made a fucking profit off of TSB. Shit. If TSB broke even, I'd fucking retire. I spend money on this clan, and people, I had a person call me about 10 years ago, and she was in a completely different clan that we didn't get along with. I didn't like this person, and called me. I figured it was going to be another shit talking session, and she was crying. She's like 19 years old. Mom and dad had got evicted from their house. They were showing up to a victim, had nowhere to go. Rented them a hotel room for the weekend. I hired movers, and I got a U-Haul there within 3 hours. Had their shit put up. They had a new place. I helped them with the deposit on it. And this is somebody I still don't care for, but I'm a fucking human being. And I knew how hard it was for that person to call and ask me for help. And it costs nothing to try to help people. It may cost you some fucking money, but at the end of the day, I don't care for that person, but I think they respect me and I respect them. And they've turned out to be pretty successful in real life. Pretty successful streamer, to be honest with you. And I've never told that story until then. I've never told anybody. Landry doesn't even know that.
We've done a lot of good for a lot of people without there being money involved in it. And I feel like the number one thing is when we start getting the kind of investments and this platform starts taking off, what have we talked about countlessly? What is almost in every conversation is the word opportunity.
Yeah.
I don't want anyone to have to leave our scene to feel like they have to make it, right? I don't want them to have to leave our environment to feel like that to be a successful streamer, to, have a merch line, to really be truly successful. You should be able to stay right here with your friends and us and the people you care about and be successful. And longevity is the goal. Longevity and opportunity is the goal in everything that we do. And the more financially sound that we get, the more that I hope that we can do for the masses, right? because that's essentially all that I, in life that I strive to do is to build something that will outlast myself, right? And will continue to do good for gamers long after I'm done.
Yep.
And I feel like if that's not your goal, then you're doing this for the wrong reason. That's pretty much how I feel about it.
Yeah. I'd like to throw a shout out to our sponsor this week.
That ain't our sponsor.
What the fuck? Who is it?
Our sponsor is Honey Bourbon Backwoods.
Our sponsor is Bucky's Gummy Rings.
Our sponsor is where the fuck this cologne is.
Our sponsor is Binder Clips.
Our sponsor is Hydrating Aloe Vera Lotion.
Our sponsor is Equate Ibuprofen. Gel
Is that a
pens.
Carpy S
That's
gel?
who's. Yep, that's who's sponsoring us.
That is a good pen.
Shout out to that pen.
And I would pick anything else up, but I'm in Pinky's office, and I'm afraid of what shit would just fall everywhere.
All right, guys. Well, thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for joining us, and we'll see you guys on the next episode.
Fuck you, Doombear.